I'm ready for any option.
Hey. In the ring, I'll show you.
It's only the beginning. I'm 24 years old. I got a long career ahead of me.
It's my boxing history. That's why it's very important for us, because I want to be world champion again.
The lightweight division is currently one of the most thrilling weight classes in the sport of boxing, boasting a roster of talented fighters who never fail to impress with their skills and grit, including Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. While boxing often doesn't make the fights that fans want to see because it doesn't have a straightforward structure, like other sports leagues, this can be due to different reasons such as competition between promoters or TV networks, or even the fighters themselves. However, recent developments have given hope to fans of the sport with an upcoming clash between Devin "The Dream" Haney and Vasily Lomachenko, set to add a pivotal chapter to the division's storied history on May 20th. Haney, the undisputed lightweight champion and possessor of all 4 major world titles, has been charting a unique path since turning pro in Mexico, strategically navigating the industry and outsmarting his opponents along the way. This has culminated in a career-defining opportunity against a pound-for-pound great in Lomachenko, who himself is on a quest for redemption after an unexpected loss to another rising lightweight, Teofimo Lopez, threatened to undo all that he'd accomplished in a sport that is notorious for its fleeting nature and unforgiving crowds.
It's just a step, and if you lost, you need to try to do one more time. You need to take your goal.
For the better part of a decade, Lomachenko was widely regarded as the most complete fighter in the game, with his remarkable offensive striking coupled with an elusive defense that saw him become a 3-weight champion in record time.
Google Vasily Lomachenko. He might be the best boxer that's ever lived. Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard and Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins, and Lomachenko, in my eyes, is the best.
This upcoming fight brings together 2 extraordinary fighters who are at opposite ends of their career arcs. For Haney, it could be a star-making fight that kickstarts a journey of super fights and immense rewards, while for Lomachenko, it represents a chance to turn back the clock and attain the final peak of an illustrious boxing career.
Now, he wants to be again undisputed.
We change this blade.
As we count down the days to the Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko fight, the anticipation among boxing fans worldwide is reaching fever pitch.
Maybe Haney right now is a favorite.
Nobody beats Lomachenko. Nobody. I mean, I've been in the ring with the man. He's smart. He has so many different tactics that I never even thought of.
It'll be an awful tough fight for Loma, but you know what? It'll be a tough fight for both guys.
Look, I'm looking forward to watching him and Lomachenko fight, and Devin is a very good fighter, a very good boxer.
This is a battle between 2 of the sport's best fighters, with everything on the line and the potential for a legendary showdown that'll be remembered for years to come. The MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, which has played host to some of the most iconic fights in boxing history, will be the stage for this highly anticipated showdown that is sure to leave a lasting impression on anyone who watches it. The best pound-for-pound boxer. Let's start by recapping Vasily Lomachenko's remarkable journey as a former lightweight division ruler, even though Devin Haney currently holds the title. Lomachenko was coached by his father, Vasily Lomachenko, from a young age. He claims that if his father hadn't been a boxing coach, he probably would have chosen to play ice hockey professionally.
And my father put a gloves on my head, and I want to put his name in history.
Lomachenko is known as one of the best amateur boxers ever, winning gold medals in the Olympics and World Championships for Ukraine. He turned professional as a featherweight in 2013, winning a world title in just his 3rd fight against Gary Russell Jr.
He's starting to look a little bit more fatigued. Clearly a bit more uncomfortable these last couple of rounds.
Now an right hook. But they're both swinging. It's Lomachenko imposing a terrific performance for Lomachenko.
Champion of the world, Vasily Lomachenko.
He then moved up to a 2nd weight class and became the fastest 2-weight world champion in boxing history by defeating Roman Martinez. Lomachenko then showcased his dominance with impressive victories against top-notch opponents, including Nicholas Walters, Jason Souza, Miguel Mariaga, and the legendary Cuban fighter Guillermo Rigondeaux. The fight against Rigondeaux was billed as a historical matchup, the first ever meeting between two Olympic gold medalists. It turned out to be anything but legendary. Rigondeaux quit on his stool following round 6 with complaints of a broken left hand. Lomachenko's unparalleled talent was a sight to behold in the world of boxing. His remarkable ability to navigate his opponent's personal space with incredible ease is one of his most prominent features in the ring.
What's your new nickname?
Now my name is Lomachenko.
Thanks to his combination of ring smarts and exceptional footwork, Lomachenko can reach any point in the ring with ease. Lomachenko's father, Anatoly, began training him from a young age. As a former boxer turned coach, Anatoly didn't allow his son to train in boxing until he attended traditional Ukrainian dance classes and learned gymnastics. Only after his son gained the proper athleticism did Anatoly permit him to enter the ring.
After school I use a dance, and after dance I go to boxing training. If you not use a dancing, you can't train in boxing.
As a result of those Ukrainian dance lessons, Lomachenko's boxing footwork became extraordinary, creating a distinct and devastating dance of destruction that only he can provide in the ring. Nonetheless, skeptics pointed out the absence of a truly formidable adversary on his record, prompting Lomachenko to venture into the next weight class to pursue stronger and more menacing opponents that could match his fighting prowess. In his quest for lightweight supremacy, he set his sights on challenging Jorge Linares, the reigning WBA champion. He became the WBA lightweight champion of the world and marked the 135-pound division as his new home, where he aimed to solidify his legacy. His new mission was to become undisputed by targeting the other titleists in the division. Despite being widely regarded as among the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, Lomachenko's goal of becoming undisputed was not yet achieved. The bout began with close, competitive initial rounds as Lomachenko went through his usual routine of closely studying his opponent and downloading the information required to combat him. Campbell did very well to match Lomachenko's feet and feint game in the early rounds. However, there was a noticeable switch in round 4 when the Ukrainian wizard appeared to solve the style. Lomachenko upped the angles, worked his way in and nailed Campbell with flush blows, many of which were aimed at the body. It was a blow to the midsection that hurt Campbell in the 11th and set up a knockdown. The home fighter rose gamely and hung tough to the final bell, but the result was never in doubt. Lomachenko's mandatory challenger as the new WBC champion was Devin Haney, who was unbeaten at the time. However, the WBC's complex rules promoted Lomachenko to franchise status, relieving him of his obligation to fight Haney, who became the WBC's regular champion. Despite Haney's frustrations, Lomachenko's primary aim was still to win the only remaining lightweight title that he'd not yet claimed. Vasily Lomachenko's defeat to Teofimo Lopez in their Unification fight marked a significant turning point in his career as he lost his grip on the lightweight division. Lopez, a fiery and gifted fighter from Brooklyn, executed a perfect strategy to frustrate and neutralize Lomachenko. It was later revealed that Lomachenko had been battling a long-term shoulder injury, which may have hindered his performance. Lopez's explosive personality had a huge impact on the division, and Lomachenko's once unchallenged reign gave way to a turbulent period of delayed fights and Lopez's own defeat to George Kambosos Jr. Kambosos Jr., despite being a major underdog, now held 3 of the 4 major world titles in the ultra-competitive lightweight division, while Lomachenko was preoccupied with unrest in his native Ukraine. In comes Haney. Devin Haney, known as The Dream, spent years positioning himself to challenge George Kambosos for the trio of lightweight titles. Despite limiting his contracts to short-term co-promotional deals and managing his career himself, Haney struggled to secure high-profile fights against opponents from other promotional stables. However, in March 2022, Haney made a significant move by joining Top Rank, one of the sport's leading promotional forces, which secured him a shot at Kambosos' belts. Haney's journey to becoming the undisputed lightweight champion wasn't an easy one, beginning his boxing career at the age of 7 and achieving an impressive record of 130 wins out of 138 fights in the amateur ranks. Although Haney was a top contender for the 2016 Olympics, a rule change mandating participants to be at least 19 years old prevented him from competing. Despite this setback, Haney remained committed to his goal of becoming a world champion in the professional ranks. The path of a warrior. With his father as his coach, Devin Haney began his professional boxing career in 2015. However, due to his young age and reluctance to sign long-term promoter contracts, Haney's early fights were mainly held someplace a bit more unorthodox. Before he was blowing up social media, before Devin Haney's rise to fame didn't start with social media stardom or Showtime appearances as Mini Mayweather among luxurious cars and Las Vegas high-rises, nor did it begin with his pristine 29-0 record or his collection of belts. Instead, it started in Tijuana, Mexico, where the story of the boxing prodigy began to take shape. In those days, the venues were small, sometimes just a bar or a makeshift ring crammed into an unremarkable building adorned with lucha libre posters. Over time, a group of Mexican fans would be present, none too pleased to see the young American fighter. Curses, spit, and beer would fly freely in the air. At just 17 years old, Haney was sometimes intimidated. For a significant period, Haney couldn't fathom the reason behind his presence in a foreign land. While his amateur buddies were signing deals with prominent promoters, earning hefty signing bonuses, and showcasing their skills on TV, Haney was in Mexico, paying to have his fights recorded and uploaded on YouTube. Initially, 10 of his first 15 fights were held across the border, which may have been just a few miles away, but it felt like a distant universe from his home. While it all began in Mexico, the location didn't matter much. Haney and his team had no other option because the California Athletic Commission denied him a license to fight before he turned 18. In essence, it was all about being in control. Despite this, Haney remained determined to succeed and showed his fighting spirit, even in sparring sessions, training with top professionals such as Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Sean Porter. Haney honed his skills and became one of boxing's most versatile prospects. He eventually earned a place on Showtime's ShowBox, a platform for up-and-coming fighters. After some impressive performances, he caught the attention of British promoter Eddie Hearn, who signed him to Matchroom USA. With Hearn's promotional expertise, Haney had the opportunity to showcase his talent and build his campaign for a world title shot. Devin Haney rose through the WBC rankings and secured a final eliminator against Zor Abdullayev, knowing that a victory here would earn him a shot at the newly crowned WBC champion, Lomachenko. Haney displayed another impressive performance and dominated Abdullayev, forcing his corner to throw in the towel after just 4 rounds of punishment. In October 2020, Teofimo Lopez defeated Vasily Lomachenko and claimed to be the undisputed champion in the lightweight division. However, some boxing enthusiasts didn't accept his claim as they believed that Devin Haney held the legitimate WBC lightweight title. Haney challenged Lopez to a fight to settle the debate, but it didn't happen. Haney was then set to fight Ryan Garcia, who declined and showed interest in fighting Gervonta Davis instead. Haney went on to defend his title against George Linares. Haney's game plan was going perfectly until George Linares caught him with a big right hand in the 10th round. The moment that punch landed, the biggest test of Haney's career became much tougher. Haney did just enough to pass, surviving a violent rally by the veteran Linares to pick up a unanimous decision victory. On the other hand, Lopez was set to defend his title against George Kambosos Jr., but the fight was postponed several times due to Lopez's testing positive for COVID-19. Eventually, the fight took place on 27th November 2021, and Kambosos Jr. pulled off a surprising victory, becoming the new unified lightweight champion. Devin Haney filled in for Ryan Garcia in a fight against Joseph Diaz on 5th of December 2021 and won by unanimous decision. But Haney didn't cruise to victory after he jumped out to a commanding lead. He was forced to overcome some challenging moments, mainly in the final round after Diaz connected on a bundle of overhand lefts that he loaded up on. Several of those shots met their mark, but Haney stood his ground. He was able to fire off a left to the body, followed by a right hand to the head that kept Diaz at bay. The result was another thrilling fight for Haney, following criticism earlier in his career that he played it too safe in the ring. Haney then called out Kambosos Jr. to determine the undisputed lightweight champion.
Are you willing to go to Australia to fight George Kambosos if that's offered to you?
Of course.
A 2-fight deal was arranged between Lomachenko and Kambosos Jr., but Lomachenko declined the fight to defend his country against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. As a result, Haney and Kambosos Jr. struck a deal on 27th of March 2022, with Haney signing a 2-fight deal with Top Rank and Lou DiBella to fight. The deal included a rematch clause if Haney wins, and even if he loses, his next bout would still be co-promoted by Top Rank and DiBella. Haney had the chance to showcase his talents in Melbourne, Australia. Haney fought Kambosos again 4 months later to fulfill his contractual obligations and solidify his championship status. Haney has already competed in 29 bouts at his current weight class and seeks a significant victory to cement his legacy in the division. Lomachenko, once a celebrated fighter in the lightweight division and the entire sport, now finds himself in a desolate vacuum reserved for defeated champions. Following his unexpected defeat by Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko underwent surgery to repair a long-suffering right shoulder injury. He made his comeback against Masayoshi Nakatani in the summer of 2021. Nakatani was a common opponent for both Lomachenko and Lopez and appeared to be an excellent warm-up for a potential rematch. Due to Lopez's departure from the division and the turmoil in Lomachenko's native Ukraine, he was left without world title opportunities and faced periods of inactivity. Although he put on an impressive 12-round display against Richard Comey, Lomachenko didn't make the statement he was hoping for. The former champion had to return to military service in his country's territorial defense battalion and remained out of the ring until October of the following year. Lomachenko then faced Jermaine Ortiz, a tall and rangy opponent and former sparring partner who posed a tough challenge over 12 rounds, revealing the stark reality that the two-time Olympic gold medalist was visibly in physical decline. The MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas is set to host a defining showdown in the lightweight division, pitting two highly accomplished fighters against each other to achieve ultimate supremacy and end a rivalry that nearly dissolved into bureaucratic confusion. Devin Haney's youthful exuberance and Vasily Lomachenko's veteran-like fortitude are part of a fascinating trend of matchups that have captured the public's attention.
You about Haney Lomachenko, but not in the context of you fighting the winner or looking forward, just looking at that fight itself and how you see the fight going and what you make of it.
I see Devin smoking him. I think he's a little too big. I think size plays a real part in that, and he's a little too big for him.
What happens in that fight?
You know better what happens. You know what I'm saying? Now, yes, Loma's a technical fighter, and he's one of my favorites, going to always be one of my favorites. So is Haney. But what I do like about the fight for Haney is that it's going to be size versus experience.
Although bookmakers heavily favor the champion, Haney carries a chip on his shoulder and a challenger's attitude to earn the respect he deserves. He also knows if he defeats Lomachenko, a whole list of big fight possibilities will open up for him going forward, giving him extra motivation. The venerable Lomachenko aims to unleash one last brilliant performance, one that has bewitched and conquered many a foolish hopeful seeking glory at his expense. The 20th of May could prove to be the redemption moment for a former champion, or a springboard for a young current champion in becoming an all-time great. Thank you for watching, and if you had fun, please like, comment, and subscribe so we can keep providing you enjoyable content.